Welcome to Season 7, Episode 1 of COMMCast. I'm your host, Jose Ramos-Flores. COMMCast is a production of the Longwood University Communication Studies Department in the COM 434 COM Lab class. This show is dedicated to highlighting the Longwood and Farmville communities. Today, we will speak with Quincy Goodine about the opening of the N.H. Scott Center here on campus. Let's get started. Joining us on set today is Quincy Goodine, Associate Director of the Office of Multicultural Affairs. Quincy, thank you so much for being here and taking time out of your day to be here. We're going to talk about the history and kind of what the N.H. Scott Center is. And to begin, we wanted to ask you, who is N.H. Scott and why was the center named after them?
Man, that's a bit of a loaded question. So Ms. N.H. Scott is, on paper, the first African-American graduate of Longwood University, class of 1972. But that's the tip of the iceberg, right? She's a leader, she's a role model, she's an inspiration to so many, she's a trailblazer, and her story is phenomenal. And I know there's been a lot of phenomenal graduates to come through Longwood's halls, but I can't think of a better person that I've met personally to have a building named after her. I mean, she's living, walking, breathing history. And so, yeah, I think it's only right that she had a building named after her. In previous years, we've had kind of spaces named after her, multicultural lounges, multicultural rooms, things like that. And so I think, yeah, long overdue for her to have a building named after her.
It's an incredible
Yes.
honor.
Yeah.
What does the N.H. Scott Center offer for students?
So I think it's a space for community and belonging. And I know that those are really buzzwords kind of here recently, but myself and our director, our assistant dean, Jonathan Page, really try to infuse that into the space. So we have a meditation space for students to come and even practice yoga or pray if they feel like they need to. We have a Q+ hub for students who identify as queer, really for all students across campus, but a safe space for students who identify along the queer spectrum. We have another student lounge for any students to kind of come in and spend some time. And we also have a Global Ambassadors Lounge. We partner with our folks over in Global Engagement for them to kind of have a space and kind of get things done on their end. But it's chock full of spaces for folks to come in and spend some time. And I would be remiss if I left out the MP Miller Room, which is dedicated to our Black Student Association. But outside of that, we've got some conference rooms, a lot of quiet study spaces across campus. All of the rooms have technology, hook up an HDMI cord, stream, record, whatever you want to do. The Langford Ballroom is still reservable for the entire campus. We've got a 98-inch monitor in there, so you know, if you ever want to come back and watch the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime performance, you can come back and do that as well.
May have to take you up on that after, but much needed center for students to have, especially on campus. Can you take me back to the start of this project and what did it take to get this project off the ground?
So Jonathan and myself have been talking about doing something like this for years. What would it look like for us to move beyond a lounge or a space or you know, a floor of a building or something like that, to really truly having a center where we can kind of program, get things done, and a space for students. But this really took off a few years ago when our students who are part of our Change Multicultural Coalition got together and provided university administration with some things that they would like to see happen across campus to make them feel like they were a part of the greater Longwood community. And one of those things they really kind of dug in on was a space on campus. So we we were over at the Clark House. I'm not sure if folks are familiar with where that is, but there's the Health and Fitness Center, and then there's a building kind of behind that. That was the Intercultural Center at first. Students, they tried to make it work, but that's a little bit further away. And so students made it clear that they wanted to have something that was a bit more central. And so myself, Jonathan Page, and those determined students worked with administration to finally get this space. Again, long overdue, but we have it and students are loving it.
That Langford Hall in the center of campus.
Yes.
Easily for everyone around Longwood to just be able to get in there.
Yeah, how beautiful to have a center for community and belonging smack dab in the middle of your campus. I think that sends a message.
It's really powerful.
Yeah.
For you personally, what do you hope to see out of this project going forward?
For students to continue to fall in love with it. You know, I think there's some plans for it to be some modernization. But I think more than anything, for students to continue to fall in love, for students to continue to make memories, for organizations to continue to thrive and utilize the space. My ultimate goal is for students to continue to take it over as their own. You know, Jonathan and I are there as staff, but that building is for the students.
How was the transition from the original place in Upchurch
Mm-hmm.
to now? Obviously, much bigger space.
Yeah. It's been a bit of an adjustment. I don't know if everybody knows that that we've moved just yet. I think that there are plans to kind of do a more grand opening for all of campus, so that might spread the word. We had a smaller, kind of more intimate thing for students, and actually Cookie Scott came back herself on MLK Day, January 19th. But we know that that's a day where folks kind of take some time to themselves and, you know, hopefully remember the legacy of Dr. King. But I'm hoping that we do something here in the coming weeks to kind of bring all of campus together to really see what we have to offer. I'm talking a lot. I forgot the question. I'm so sorry.
What was the transition period from
There we go.
Upchurch to Langford?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a journey. Moving was tough. And like I said, I think we're just trying to really make sure that we up that foot traffic because we want all students to feel like they can come through and enjoy themselves. So it's a work in progress. We're building it as we go, kind of.
So, to you personally,
Yes.
as a former student, what does the space mean to you?
Well, I'm old. So that was actually my original student union. So when I was here, class of 2016, that was our student union. Langford Student Union was it. We had our BSA balls in the Langford ballroom. I would go and grab food and Einstein bagels and all of that stuff before class. I know this was before your time, but where Andy Taylor Center was an entire kind of, think of the bottom of Upchurch. That's what the bottom of Langford was. So to see, to have been here long enough to kind of see it come full circle and now work in the offices upstairs, it's incredible. Yeah, I don't take it lightly. So it's really special to me. Langford and now what we call NH Scott Center is kind of where I grew up on campus. So a lot of fond memories, a lot of tough meetings, lots of progress though.
Those were all the questions we have for you, Quincy. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer them. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with COMMCast Trivia. It's time for everyone's favorite segment, COMMCast Trivia. For this segment, Quincy, we are going to ask you 3 questions about Miss Cookie Scott and see how well you know her.
Oof, let's do it.
First question, what year did NH Cookie Scott graduate from Longwood?
I said 1972 earlier, and I'm going to stick with it, but I hope that that's the case.
Starting off strong, 1 for 1, that is correct. Second question, when was the original NH Scott Center opened?
2010?
Off by 3 years, 2013.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Man.
Still 1 for 2. That's a
Okay.
good field goal shooting percentage. Last question here.
Okay.
What degree did NH Cookie Scott receive from Longwood?
Oh, my gosh. Communications?
She received a Bachelor's of Arts in Sociology.
Sociology, that makes sense.
It's okay, though. Well, thank you so much for being here, taking the time out of your day to answer these questions. And thank you for CommLab behind the scenes for helping out. And thank you for watching. Join us live next Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. on YouTube for another episode of CommCast.